What's up, everybody? We back with another message, another video. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Everybody has just been great. Of course, there's persecution that comes with it. And I'm also gonna be putting this up on TikTok as well because it's gonna be a shorter video. But yes, we finally got blessed with this platform, and when you get blessed with a platform or blessed with anything, comes a new season, comes a new persecution. So check it out. Tell me why. This is how my December 25th went. All right, I'm just gonna run y'all through mine because the enemy is always after me. So tell me why. Today is considered Christmas, pagan holiday. I ain't even getting into that point, but other family members like to give you stuff. So tell me why I get these shoes, and I look at the bottom of the shoes, and um I see the whole checkerboard design. So it's this checkerboard design is like it's like the Masonic temple. So the Illuminati. So it's satanic. And I'm sitting there holding these shoes in shock. I'm sitting there holding these shoes in shock. And my mom is asking me, "You like them?" And I'm like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, "No, this ain't what I think it is." Like, I didn't even hear what she said. It's like, how you just kind of just focused on something and the world around you ain't existing. I was in shock. I said, I cannot believe that I am holding this in my hand right now. And instantly I said, I gotta put these in the Holy Spirit jail. I done put them in a bag, right them bad boys up. I'm praying over them. Like, in Jesus' name, I rebuke whatever's attached or get away. Because I felt this unsettledness in my spirit too, holding the shoe. I was like, Father, what did you got me going on here? And he's funny because he come through and he was like, my child, relax. He says, are you a part of the Illuminati? I'm like, nah. He said, then what is calm down? And he be getting me together. He do. He be like, relax and calm down. Okay? Just calm down. he be having to get me together because sometimes, man, especially today, I ain't even done with today's story. So then, y'all know how when you walk the narrow path of God, you go through persecution. So it's one thing to go for me to go through persecution. Like, I know ever since I've been doing Twitch's case, it's been a persecution going on. It's one thing to deal with that, but it's a whole nother thing to deal with it from your family. And I know if you walk the narrow path, you gonna deal with it. You walk the narrow path with God, you gonna deal with it. Cause ain't no other way to go. You facing everything that come your way. So I'm sitting there with my mom, and my family has never been rude to me. I mean, they've been nice to me, but you know, alcohol got involved today, and not for me. I don't drink or do any of that stuff, but she's talking to me, and she ain't did it, y'all. She ain't been doing it, so today she just decided to do it, and it's getting closer. You know how people get when they get closer to having to go back to work and stuff like that. They be like, are thinking about it, and then they be trying to take their mind off it, but that's not the way to do it. But anyway, we having this conversation, and which leads to her saying like, oh yeah, come on, have like a glass with me, come on, come on. And I'm like, you of all people know I do not drink, I do none of that stuff. You say, not just one, come on. I'm like, no, I don't do it. I don't do it. So, um, she's like, dang, like you ain't no fun. Like, you always trying to act like you perfect all the time, but there's always something wrong. Like, there's like gotta be something wrong. Like, you gotta be doing something you ain't supposed to be doing. And I'm just like, why would you? I literally said, who says that? Like, it's like, are you looking for something to be wrong with me? You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, she's like, nah, but like, you trying to act like you all perfect all the time. And I say, no, I don't. I know I'm not perfect just because I don't do the things the world does. doesn't mean that I'm perfect. It just means that I'm in a better mind state than other people, you know? And it took a lot for me not to get heated in that type of conversation, because every time I face forms of persecution, yeah, and then, you, especially from a family, it's like, then, your family will start comparing you to other people around your age. Because I'm young, I'm 25. Um, Start comparing you to cousins or other friends' kids, and I'm like, I'm not them. I am who I am, and I'll be making that clear. I'm like, I am who I am. I'm not them. I'm not them. And it makes me go back to when I was dealing with Twitch's case. That made me hit a whole realization. Like, people in the comments was saying, well, God doesn't speak to me, so I know he's not speaking to you. Stuff like that. And that's why I'm doing a video on the YouTube addressing particular verses, misconcepts, and stuff like that, and how I handle that. It doesn't make me mad, but it's just, the realization that people will try to look for things wrong. We are still humans too. God will put you in a calling, but you still human. And people will look for things to be wrong with you so that you, they can prove or disprove like God is really working through you. And it's like, if you spend more time worrying about you or focusing on you, then you would know that God is open access to everybody. You just have to have that faith. And you know what? The reason why God is not speaking with a lot of people, the reason people don't know certain things, is because they didn't take the narrow path. God, I had to get myself together while doing messages. So I had to help people while doing messages. And you know what my favorite part about it was? Helping people. It's not easy. But when we face persecution, it really just shows you, like, man, it's like the world is not made for us. We really out here different and get attacked heavily for it. And I mean, the enemy couldn't wait to do this to me. Use family or some form to attack me. But then, it's been kind of like negative energy all day. And it's just been so annoying. So it's like, but I have a good relationship with my parents and my family. It's just, we be having moments like that, but then it'll go back to normal. Like, what the heck just happened? But it's like, you know, you will have people that throw these Bible verses out at you while you're giving out these messages like, yeah, well, Jesus says this and God says that. It's like, first and foremost, do you know of God or do you have a relationship with God? Number two, you know, if you don't have a relationship with God and not knowing how the narrow path works, you got no business talking about somebody, because God will really, that's what God say, he getting tired of that. He getting tired of that. And before every big blessing or after a blessing going into a new season, people face this. But you know what? That's why I'm doing a video, because it's so important to address this type of stuff, to have these conversations, because you don't know what people go through. I'll be having people don't even know me while I'm giving messages in my car, or recording them, look at me funny because that aura from God, they hate it. And it's like, dude, this world is terrible. But you know what? I want to take it back not a bit, because it made me who I am today. And don't ever feel like you by yourself for real. Y'all, look, I always think about Jesus and how he faced so much persecution, but he was always love and light to the world, even during his death. And he got resurrected and they was in shock. So if Jesus Christ could go through a very perfect life to die for us, then I know I'm not going to ever be perfect, but I can at least, I know that it's possible for me to face persecution and still have love and light. As hard as it may be, don't give up on being that way, because the world will tell you, try to break you down for not being a part of its ways. The devil, I mean, he really, really tried to outdo himself today, but little do he know. And God told me during that, I was kind of just venting to him about it. And I said, you know what, I'm sorry, I'm not even trying to be negative. I actually said that to him, like, I know better than to let certain things affect me. And he says, no, it's okay. I'm your father. And he says, You are still human. I understand. He says, you are strong. You tough. He says, I understand it. I get it. You know, and he always be there in times like that. He's like, when you can't go to nobody, you can go to him. You can go to him. Like, I had to really, during this narrow path, I did have to stay true to him. I had to have the faith in him when things didn't look good. I had to be tough and strong during situations because I knew the enemy would try to take me down if I wasn't. I got prepared for this very day, and I still get attacked to this very day. But it's been more so crazy than it's ever been because God put me in a new season. So I just want y'all to know, like, if you're going through persecution, don't be afraid to face it. But how you fight it back and bite it back, you bite it back with the truth, love, peace, and a clear mind. Okay, y'all? Peace and blessings. That was just a quick little message.